Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. First off, I want to welcome everyone to today's webcast on Sage Enterprise Intelligence. My name is Jeff Merton. I'm a partner marketing manager here with Sage, and I do have a few logistical items I'd like to cover before we get started today. We should have some time for questions, so if you have any questions as we're going through the presentation today, please just enter them into the chat or the Q&A window and send them to me, the host. And do know if we don't get to your question, we will have someone from the Sage Enterprise Intelligence team follow up with you. So rest assured your question will get answered. We also have already gotten a couple requests for, we'll have access to the recording. Within a week of today's webcast, you'll get an email from myself or my colleague, Ali, who will have a link to the recording as well as a PDF of the slides that you'll see here today as well. And lastly, we do have a couple towards the end of the presentation, a couple interactive polls. So we'll be actually asking the audience for your feedback, and then we'll be able to share some of those results back with you from the first poll so you can see how your colleagues are, what they're experiencing as well. So I'd like to turn it over to Olivia Brown, who's the Director of Business Development for Nectari, the publisher of Sage Enterprise Intelligence, to kick things off. Olivia, over to you.
Jeff, thank you so much, and thank you to everybody for joining us today. Just want to make sure you can hear me first and foremost. Jeff, I'm good?
Yep, sound good.
Awesome, perfect. So thanks everybody. Today we're going to be talking about leveling up your reporting and analytics with SEI. So how you can take your data analysis and reporting to the next level. As Jeff already mentioned, my name is Olivia and I'm the Director of Business Development for the Sage Enterprise Intelligence Solution in North America. My colleague Jasdeep is joining us. He's our pre-sales engineer, and he will be getting into a product demonstration a little later on in today's session. So let's kick things off with the agenda. We're going to talk about some of the challenges your organization might be experiencing today when it comes to accessing and reporting on information. We'll of course jump into SEI and give you an overview of the reasons to upgrade your business intelligence today or to consider upgrading your business intelligence. We'll do an overview demo by Jasdeep, talk about how to move to SEI, some pricing and resources, and then we'll leave the Q&A for the end. But feel free, if there are questions along the way, to type them into the chat box. We will get at the end of the event. So starting with some of the challenges organizations like yourselves might be experiencing today with your BI, hopefully that's why you're on the presentation today, to learn a little bit more about how we can help solve for some of those challenges. So one of the key challenges is being able to access information in a self-sufficient way. So oftentimes when you're just using an ERP system to gather data and report on data, you do need to rely on somebody who's a little bit more technical and advanced user to be able to pull out that information and share it with others, which of course, there are many people within an organization who need access to information to make decisions. Another challenge that organizations are experiencing today and continuing to grow the volume of data that you might be having, additionally different data sources you might be using or third-party applications that you might be using in addition to your Sage system. It's not so easy to pull all of that information together in one place to gain enterprise-wide insight. Oftentimes you have disparate systems where you're needing to report off of one system over here and another system in another solution. It's not super easy to pull all of that data into one common framework for reporting. Again, as organizations grow, you're adding, third-party applications. You might be growing in data volume as well. Sometimes those tools that you might be utilizing today, including, Excel or whatever it is that you're using, might experience some slowdowns in performance. So whereas oftentimes we like to have our reports running up to the second, excellent performance. When you start to acquire a lot more data, do a lot more transactions daily, those reports might slow down. Again, something that we don't necessarily want to have to deal with. Manual reporting as well has its own challenges in of itself, including room for error, and of course, not getting access to the information you might need when you actually need it, leading to missed opportunities. And again, I mentioned, that challenge of having to maintain multiple different tools. You might be using something for sales and something else for, financial reporting. Again, creating that dependency on somebody to actually manage all of those tools and not able to have that clear view of your data in one place using one solution. So getting into Sage Enterprise Intelligence, giving you a little bit of a background on us. We are a Sage OEM solution, have been for the last 10 years. We started with the Sage X3 world in the very beginning as an X3 reseller ourselves. We are now only focused on the BI side. Over the last 10 years, we've integrated with multiple different Sage product lines. I believe we're at 12 product lines now with Sage. Of course, today we're focusing on Sage 100 and 300. If there are any Sage 500 customers on the line, we are available for Sage 500 as well. We have almost 3,000 customers worldwide, a number of different partners representing this solution. So we do have quite a base using SEI today for their Sage solution. As far as our mission statement goes, when it comes to data analysis and reporting and BI in general, we're really aiming to empower users to get the answers their business needs. Really, that's what it's all about, providing data access to those who need it to do their jobs. SEI is a fully integrated BI solution, but also provides some data management capabilities as well. So when I talk about the challenges, that growing volume, data volume, the number of different disparate systems you might be using, pulling that information all together, that's something that SEI is really intended to help organizations do. And again, providing that ease of use and flexible interface to really report on data, no matter what kind of user you might be. So if you're more of a basic end user, more of a technical user, we're really geared towards providing that ease of use. And when Jazz goes and shows his demo, he'll really show you how easy it is to just drag and drop, filter, drill down, really to be able to get to the transactional level of detail that you might need. One of our biggest advantages with SEI is the integration and the quick ROI you can obtain upon implementation. So when we talk about integration, of course, in this case, again, we're referring to our integration with Sage 100 and 300. And what I mean by integration is that with SEI, we deliver multitude of data models that are pre-built specific to your ERP, so 100 or 300. You're starting with a really nice repository of reports based on the different areas of your business, not just finance, but start using from day one of implementation. In addition to the ERP specific reports that we deliver, we also have what's called our universal data models. Going back to the access of multiple different data sources and being able to run reports on consolidated data, the universal data models provide the ability to do just that. We can consolidate data from multiple different sources. We have many different connectors available as well in order to do so and produce the same output. So in the case of the universal data models, we have finance, CRM, and sales. There are a lot of interesting dashboards, preset KPIs, really industry standard reports, again, that you can start utilizing from day one with the solution. It's also quick to implement and learn SEI. So when you are implementing and deploying the solution, I'll talk a little bit about that later, but we're not talking about a matter of months. We're really talking about a matter of days to get up and running and using some of these pre-built reports. So let's jump to the top 5 reasons we would suggest considering a move to SEI. I'm sure some of you on the call today are doing things, potentially manually in Excel. We hear that a lot. Perhaps you're using Sage Intelligence or another BI solution. So we've tried to gather some of the generic reasons why you would consider moving to a full business intelligence suite like Sage Enterprise Intelligence. And we'll start with enterprise-wide reporting. So again, back to talking about enterprise-wide and reporting on not just the financial area of your business, but also any other area of your business, despite whatever data source that information might be coming from. So really allowing you to gain that insight into the company as a whole. For those of you on the line who have multiple different databases or companies within your ERP system, the ability to easily report on the consolidation of those transactions, those environments, being able to get the full view of all of those companies consolidated together, and of course being able to drill in and filter on specific companies or databases. We also deliver the option of adding, user-defined dimensions. I believe they're called in Sage 300. So if you do use things like, user-defined dimensions, those are already existing in the out-of-the-box data models. You can easily pull them in to run in your reports. We also deliver some budgeting and forecasting capabilities with the solution. So again, when we talk about enterprise-wide, we're taking it to the next level in terms of providing a full business intelligence solution you can utilize to access all of your information, any department, do some budgeting and forecasting as well, so on and so forth. Again, reverting back to the data aspect of it, we do provide with SEI a data management capability in terms of our data sync solution. So we have developed a module that will very easily enable certain connections or any kind of connection that you might need to make to outside data sources. So something outside of Sage, for example, anything with an ODBC web API can easily be brought in. A lot of the time we also see Excel files or flat files that organizations would like to connect to. SEI provides the ability, again, with those connectors through the data sync to access information, pull in information, whether it's on the cloud or on-prem, consolidate that data together for reporting purposes. We also have the ability to use our transformation tools. So if you are consolidating multiple systems together, things might not match up. You need to synchronize the data. Again, for a clear picture for your reporting, our transformation tool will enable that data cleanup for that clear synchronized picture of your data. An enhanced user experience. So if you are an organization using, SI or Excel, it's a really nice, of course, we all know Excel has its place and its power. And if you're an Excel expert, it is a really nice, option to be able to report from. But people like me who are on the sales team or don't necessarily have those Excel skills to be able to go in and really, slice and dice the data like Excel experts can. With SEI, we provide an Excel interface, but we also deliver a web-based experience that's very, very easy to use for any user, like I said, even myself, to slice and dice, drill down, and be self-sufficient. So when we talk about people on the sales team who are on the road needing to drill into customer information, it's very easy to do so using some of the end user capabilities of the solution. So again, you have that web-based look and feel with the drag and drop, very, very easy to navigate. Now, on that point, talking about the flexibility and enhanced or improved flexibility, again, we mentioned Excel. We do have that option available as well. But if you're looking for something that's web-based that can be accessed from a mobile device as well, SEI will provide you that ability. So you have the flexibility to report off of different interfaces. We've also created our Excel add-in in the web interface. So if you are a lover of Excel, but you want to gravitate more towards the web in terms of how you access your data and reports, you can now do so using the web workbook in SEI, which is essentially the Excel add-in and the features and capabilities of Excel created within the web framework, which again, will allow you to access those reports on the go from a mobile device, so on and so forth. The other thing to mention, actually, and this is a recent development for Sage 300 specifically, is that you have the option to use in the web screens, if any of you on the call are using the web screens, SEI directly embedded with within the Sage 300 web screens. So of course you have the standalone option for those users who don't necessarily need that access to Sage 300, but you also have the ability to embed the solution within the Sage 300 application. There's also information or data sharing options within SEI that again provide you that added flexibility to share information with people inside and outside of the organization. Jazz will show you a little bit about what that distribution and scheduling option looks like. But again, just offering flexibility of more options and more ways to share information. Last but not least, SEI is scalable, and I like to say future-proof with organizations, I'm sure like yourselves, who are growing, again, adding maybe other companies into the mix, other data sources into the mix, your transaction volume is growing. There is the scalability aspect with SEI, the ability to access information using a data warehouse or cube intended to improve the performance of reports when we're talking about really large volumes of data. Of course, you have the option to access information in real time, but when you start growing and so does your data volume, you might need to do something to really improve that performance. When I say future-proof, what I mean is that SEI will really grow with your organization in terms of your ERP or software journey. So if you are a customer who might be looking to transition, even upgrade your current software to the latest version, migrate to another Sage system, SEI will continue to work throughout that journey. So you're not creating, reports and building things up in SEI and going to lose them at the end of the day. They're going to move with you regardless of which system you decide to move with. And of course, with the growth, SEI's scalability will continue to allow you to run those reports as well. The last thing I'll mention here is the cloud option, which again is a really nice option in terms of not having to maintain the system, and again, allowing more people and even globally to be able to easily access SEI through the cloud version that's available. So I'll pass it to Jazz. He's going to hone in on some of these features that we just discussed in terms of the demo, and he will be passing it back to me once he's completed the demo. So Jazz, I will pass the reins to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Libya. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
I do see it, Jazz. We're good.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thanks, Olivia, for the presentation, and thanks everyone for joining us today in such good numbers. My name is Jasdeep, and I'll walk you through the product demonstration today, showing you the ease of use, the access to the different data sources, and all the different benefits that Olivia mentioned in the presentation today. So we'll touch on those topics. And what we are looking at right now, let me just increase the size of the screen a little bit, is the web application, the first platform there of SEI that we'll be looking at, where we have the Sage 300 template. Right now, if I expand the folder right here for Sage 300, this is the out-of-the-box template, which is tailored to Sage 300, giving us the access to all the different modules which you might be using within Sage 300. And not only limited to financials. As you can see, there are also the data models on sales, project and job costing, purchasing, inventory, and so on and so forth. Therefore, giving us the access to the enterprise-wide data of all the different modules within Sage 300. And then on top of that, we can also use the reporting tree as a functionality where we can easily set up different filters and facilitate the filtering on different reports based on those different hierarchies set up in the companies itself within Sage 300, and be able to easily filter on those different dimensions. So now, on top of that, we also must I must highlight the fact that we also have the universal data model, which is also offered as a second set of template with SEI on top of the Sage 300 template, which further allows users to connect to other data sources as well. So there are definitely chances that you might not only be using Sage 300, you might have a CRM software in the cloud or any other legacy systems that you might want to connect to. So the SEI's data sync module offers different connectors, which we can see right here, and they are constantly added from time to time based on the needs. And then what we're looking at right now are the connectors such as SQL Server, ODBC, web APIs. We can connect to that as well and bring in the data into SEI to help you report on that as well. So therefore, giving you a company-wide, enterprise-wide rather, overview, and then the ability to gain insights from the entire data that you are accumulating over the time. So now what we will do as a next step, we will go into some of the reports within Sage 300, and I will go into sales history, for example, where we will open a report on sales by state to understand the ease of use which comes with these out-of-the-box reports within SEI. So here in this report, we have the sales by state, where we have groups, pivots, and columns. And just to understand how these reports actually work, they're all based on these 3 shelves here on the top, and the fields that we enter right here would decide what we see in these reports. And it's very easy to move things around, bring in the new dimensions and measures into these reports, and drill down to different levels of details. For example, here in the groups, we have 2 different fields, such as the territory and then the location code. So we are looking at the different territories in the groups column right here. So if I expand on BC, I can further see the different location codes within there. And then we also have the columns, which are showing us the different metrics, such as the sales, returns, quantity sold, so on and so forth. Now, to bring in the new fields right here, we have a toolbar on the right-hand side, which has one of the tools called Dimensions and Measures, where we can easily go and grab new dimensions that we would like to include in the report. So for example, if I would like to include a fiscal period as well into this report, along with the fiscal year. So we can grab these fields and simply drag and drop them and place them wherever we think we would like to see the drill down in that fashion. Now, fiscal year being the first field, we can now see it here. And then if I further drill down on fiscal year, we can further see the next level of detail, fiscal period. And further drilling down on that, we can go on to the territory level, so on and so forth. Very easy also to slice and dice, remove the fields which are not required. And that for that, we simply hover onto the different columns. And let's say if we would like to remove the returns in this particular report. And then what we can also do is to bring my territory in the pivots. That would give us a different way of looking at this report right now, where we have all the territories set up as separate columns. And within those columns, we have further metrics such as the sales, quantity sold under each territory. So we can keep them side by side and easily make the comparisons when it comes to our sales. So that's the ease of use. We can also very easily filter on the data as well. So if I would only want to see the data for 2020, I can add that to the filter, and then that will show me the data only restricted to that particular selection of the year. I can always come back and move my fields back into the territory to have a simpler view of this report and drill down further on that. And further, what we can do in these reports is to be able to format these very easily as well. So if I go on home currency as my selected column, I have different choices to manage the header, the content of the report itself. So if I would like to change the color of this content within the report to the color that I just selected here, it will appear right away on my report. So this way we can easily do the formatting on these reports and then really make them look like the way we would like them to see. Next thing is the ability to further create something more visual out of these reports with the help of the view type. So clicking on that tool, we have over 100 different visualizations that we can choose from to really create something more visual out of the tabular data that we see in these worksheets. So these visualizations could range from bar charts to line charts to pie charts. We also have the integration with the Google Maps and also the vector maps for the other countries as well. And some of the more advanced charts as well, such as miscellaneous, which covers the tree maps, combination, so on and so forth. So if you select this into, select this vertical bar chart as an example, it's going to transform all here, where we still have the ability to drill down to different levels of details, as we can see here. Then comes the next platform of SEI, which is the Excel add-in. Here, what we are looking at is the Microsoft Excel, and there are some of the sample reports that we have created, ranging from financial analysis, income statement, balance sheet, financial dashboards, so on and so forth, all with the help of the different tools which are catered to us with the help of the Excel add-in offered by SEI. Just highlighting the cell right here, we can see a formula in the formula bar, but users do not have to remember any of these formulas or even have the need to type these by themselves, because there are tools which exist to help you create these calculations, where you simply need to go and pick the data model of your choice, the field that you would like to work on, and there's a list of operations that, again, you can choose from to do these calculations. Further, we have the filtering panel from where we can easily map the fields directly from the cells within the spreadsheet. Then these reports are also fully dynamic within Excel, which means if I would like to change my fiscal period to another month or another period, it readily changes the data on this report for me. Here, if I change it again back to another month, we will see the data changing on these reports right away. Some of the other important tools within Excel are duplicator, for example. So we can create a master report such as this one, and then duplicate it against different segment codes which exist within Sage 300 or even Sage 100, and then create multiple copies of these reports without having to work on them over and again. So that's the Excel add-in. Just a very quick overview of that platform as well, where we can create many reports. Again, not only limited to financials, but you can bring in the data from your other modules within Sage 300, but also connect to other sources of data, which could be a CRM, could be a legacy systems, and still report on that data within this platform as well. Now, just a very, while we are on the Excel add-in right here, I would like to transition back into the web application just to show you what we have recently come up with as a new feature, which is the web workbooks. The web workbooks here is the new way of creating the Excel-like reports within the same platform. So you do not have to switch between the different applications. You do not need a separate license for the Excel, because you can remain in the same platform, which is the web application, and still have the access to the Excel-like environment where you have the division of the reports and the different dashboards that you can create here, like such as this one, with the same formatting options and the same comfort of Excel. Right now, what we are looking at is the business dashboard, which has various KPIs already set up. And if I go into the home, we will notice all the different features which we are familiar with while working in Excel. Some of the other features would be including new visualizations like charts, for formulas, and also managing the data, such as filtering and easily sorting on that as well. And the last tab, which is the analysis tab, is the native SEI functionality, where we can easily go onto the different cells within the spreadsheet and manage those formulas. So if we go into the formula visit, we'll be able to notice what is going on in the back end, again, in a very user-friendly interface, such as this one, where no real coding is really required. All we are doing is selecting the data model of our choice from the list, and then the fields that we want to work on, again with the same interface that SEI offers, and then simply adding the filters. Even while adding the filters, we have many easy ways to set them up. So we can add different groups within the filters, and we further have the and or conditions to simplify the process of creating these calculations for us in these spreadsheets. Even here as well, we have the ability to dynamically see the data changing when we change any of the dimensions. For example, if I change the company code from Star to Sam Inc., we will see the data changing on this dashboard right away, as we can see here. Or if I change the current year to 2020 rather than all the years put together, again, we will see the data changing on these dashboards right away. So that's the brand new feature of the web workbooks, which users now have access to, so they can continue creating the reports within web application and choose how they would like, whether it's they want to create reports what we saw before, or they want to use the web workbook section. Just like the Sage 300 modules that we have just seen here, we also have the templates for Sage 100 as well, such as the ones right here. So within Sage 100, we have the modules again on item history, inventory, MRP, purchase order, RMA, job cost, and of course, not forgetting the financials, where we have AP, AR, and general ledger, and all different reports which come out of the box with these data models as well. Next, the flexibility of using SEI within different platforms as well. Here we are logged in, and we are not in fact logged in. I was just kicked out, but let me go ahead and log in again into Sage 300's web screen, where we can embed the entire SEI solution or some selected views from SEI within Sage 300 web screens. So here's the button for that, which is implemented based on your requirements. And then we have the sections for embedding different visualizations or the entire web application of SEI. So we can embed different dashboards, different sections for sales and finance, and also even manage some of the admin stuff while remaining within Sage 300 web screens as well. So let's go into the SEI web, which will show us the entire solution, again, fully embedded within Sage 300 web screens. And this time we can have a look at a dashboard within Sage 300. So we'll open the product performance dashboard. Again, this is a native dashboard to SEI where we see all the different KPIs put together, and then we are also able to dynamically filter the data on these dashboards while remaining within Sage 300. So it's not just a static image that is embedded, it's a fully functional dashboard which we can use within the Sage 300 web screens. Next, we can also do many more things within Sage 300 as well while embedding SEI within the solution, where we can share these dashboards or even reports with our teammates directly from within Sage 300. So it has a sharing ability where we can export these dashboards or even these reports in a format of our choice, or we can send a comment on these dashboards as well, where we can highlight something that needs some attention, we can make annotations, and then send a direct email to our colleagues, and all the remarks and the annotations that we create will be attached as a part of the email. What's also interesting is the distribution module, which offers some advanced functionalities when it comes to sharing our reports in the form of reporting packs. So in the web views section right here, we can really select what different reports we would like to include in our reporting packs. So if I want to create a finance reporting pack, I can filter on finance and see the list of different reports and visualizations which are available for me within SEI. If there are any reports sitting in Excel, we can also bring them in and include them in the reporting pack too. And finally, giving it a name, add a cover page to that where we can add the company logo, add the dynamic variables so we can clearly see what fiscal year, fiscal period, company code, department code, so on and so forth is this reporting pack referring to. It also offers the text field where we can provide a nice description to the document which we are going to present maybe to our board members or even share that within the team. And finally, send it to the different users. It could be one user at a time or a group of users as well. So the security of these users, who sees what level of information, is also managed within SEI. So you can really go down to the level of rows where if you would like to hide or make sure that a certain person is not able to see that information, it can be managed within SEI, and these users will then receive those reports in that fashion. And finally, set the schedule. So if I would like to receive these reports at 9 a.m. every Monday and every Wednesday of the week, I set that schedule right here and hit save, and as a result, we will receive the reporting packs. We can also set conditions within SEI using the scheduler option, where we can really track down on some of the critical KPIs. For example, if talking about on the financial side, if our actuals exceed the budget amount, we can set up that as a condition. And if the condition appears to be true, where the actuals go over the budget amount, we can receive a notification along with the full reporting back on that, so that we can take actions and be proactive about the situation rather than being reactive. And what a reporting back actually looks like, here will be an example of that, where we will have a nice logo of your own company at the top, followed by the table of contents, and then easily see all grouped together within this reporting pack. So that's the sharing and distribution ability, and basically just the ease of use which comes with the whole solution, no matter which platform of SEI you're using. So with that, I'll conclude my presentation and pass it back to Olivia.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Jazz. I think I just have to, you have to give me back.
Yes.
Okay. we go. There we go. We got it.
Yep, I just gave it to you, Olivia. There you go. And your
Thank you
slide's
so
showing.
Okay, cool. So there's a lot to cover. I mean, Jazz just kind of scratched the surface in terms of what SEI can do. So hopefully it gives you a good idea of some of the, advantages, the flexibility, the enterprise-wide reporting that we can offer with a solution like SEI. So who is an ideal customer for SEI? And again, we talked about the challenges in the beginning of the presentation. So if you are an organization that is experiencing any of those challenges, of course, you would be a good candidate for the solution. But getting into it in more detail, of course, if you have a need for more advanced analytics and reporting and to go beyond, just the financial and really report on different areas of your business, also to expand the reports beyond just using Excel. Of course, SEI offers the full HTML5 web platform in addition to the Excel add-in. But again, for those users who might want to be more web-based, it's a very good solution for them. The ability to easily customize reports. So if you need your users to be very self-sufficient, again, able to drill down, slice and dice, move things around, create their own reports, then of course, the flexibility, the ease of use of the web interface especially is very attractive. Ability to access multiple data sources. So if you're an organization who does use multiple different applications, third parties, example, Salesforce, you have your Sage 300 or 100, the ability to, you need the ability to bring all of that data together. Then of course you need something that will sit on top of all of that data. If you're an organization who has multiple entities as well, we talked about that earlier in terms of the consolidations and the ability to easily consolidate your multiple companies, databases, and all of that. If you need secure mobile access to your information, and if you want to improve the performance of your current reporting when you have, those larger volumes of data that you're dealing with. So I think, Jeff, we have a polling question here.
We do, and I just launched it. And Olivia, I'm guessing your screen is blank now, right?
I still see my slide, but I think everybody else sees something else.
You should. Yeah, you just won't see this, so I can talk to this. So
Okay,
this is our first. This is our first poll, everyone. So we have this open to select as many answers as you like, and we'll share this results right back with you, so you can see what your fellow Sage customers and people in similar industries are kind of experiencing, or what they're looking at when they are evaluating for a solution. And seeing answers coming in, great, everyone. Thank you, thank you.
Love a little poll to make sure everybody's still awake.
Yep, and we'll give it 10 more seconds or so. We're getting a pretty good quorum. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll here, and I'll share the results on the screen, which you also won't see, Olivia. But I can summarize for you, Olivia. We have the leader is ease of use and empowering users at 74%. Advanced Excel reporting, still very important, 62%. Total cost of ownership, 49%. Multi-source considerations, 46%. And mobile access, a little less at 23%. Thanks, everyone, for your answers. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, so the top one was ease of use.
Yep.
Very interesting, but not surprising at the same time. All right, cool. So I wanted to share very quickly, and thank you so much to everybody for answering, by the way. We appreciate the participation. So I did want to share a recent SEI success story. I do want to go back and just mention, I know Jazz showed you the Sage 300 environment. Everything that you can do with SEI for Sage 300, you can do for Sage 100 as well. Full disclosure, our demo data isn't as good for Sage 100 demo environment as it is for 300, which is why Jazz focused on that one today, but just wanted to reiterate that point. So in terms of the success story, here's a customer that we worked with a partner here actually in Quebec, a Sage 300 customer called Mispro Biotech Services, and they implemented SEI to replace a previous solution, which was actually Sage Intelligence. So SEI really enabled them to run the reports and close their month end a lot faster, of course, providing again that ability for users to access information in real time on their own. And one of the really interesting points that was made by the CFO, Denis Archambault, was that thanks to SEI, they did not need to hire an additional financial analyst and the reliance on their IT department was significantly reduced and potentially even eliminated. So I did want to just share that success story with you, so you have an idea of a real life customer and some of the advantages and benefits they obtain by using SEI. Now, let's talk about moving to SEI. We know potentially that a lot of you might be using Sage Intelligence today, so we're going to focus a little bit more on Sage Intelligence. You're probably wondering, what would it take for me to get my reports that I've created in Sage Intelligence into a solution like SEI? Some of the biggest pushback I've had over the years is we've created our reports in SEI, we've spent so much time working on them, working with our business partner to really get everything to really fit our business needs. So based on that feedback, we decided to develop a tool which will convert SI reports directly into Sage Enterprise Intelligence. It's a free tool that comes with this solution and will allow you to convert your reports in a few simple steps. This is available today for Sage 300. We do have customers that have used this tool to convert reports. It is now also available for beta for our Sage 100 customer base as well. So if you are a Sage 100 customer on the line using SI, potentially interested in SEI, please don't hesitate. We're looking for some customers to convert their reports with the new tool. So again, really just simplifying that process of moving to the solution that you're familiar with, that you've done all your work in, to SEI, more of a robust business intelligence software. Again, 4 steps to really get those reports directly translated, converted into Sage Enterprise Intelligence. Very, very easy to use that conversion tool. As far as pricing and resources go, and I did decide to include that, I don't normally, but we often get asked how the software is priced, what the implementation looks like, so on and so forth. So I will cover a little bit of that. The way that the pricing works for SEI, it's based on a component pricing as well as a user-based pricing. Now, the users in SEI are concurrent. They're not named users, which is definitely an advantage. And there are 2 types. So there's a full user of SEI, which could be somebody like an admin, a power user, somebody who needs to go in and actually create reports, customize reports, save changes, set up security settings, pretty much have access to all of the features and functionality of the solution on the web or the Excel. The viewer user is essentially just that, somebody who can log in. It's really more of a consumer of data. It's not somebody who's going to be needing to create new reports or save changes that they make to reports. They're really going to be using and analyzing that data. They can still use some of the end user capabilities like the drill down, the filtering, that kind of thing, but again, limited in the sense that they can't save changes or create anything new. When I talk about the components, the first component of SEI, we call it the SEI server. It includes 1 full user of the software. Of course, all of the templates and integration that we deliver for your specific ERP, and that starts at $12.10 per year USD. So it's a pretty low cost of entry, point of entry for the solution to get started. And of course, you can add users and viewers and different components at any time. It's very easy to do that. We offer 2 options, or a few options, I should say, not just 2, 3 options for deployment. I missed one here, but of course the on-premise server installation deployment is available. You can install with our cloud version of the software, which has its own advantages. A faster implementation time is one, but also less maintenance when it comes to things like upgrading the software. We usually release 2 major versions per year, but any minor version that's released, all of those updates are automatically reflected on your environment. Now, the third option would be to install on a third-party cloud. So if you are working with a partner and you've installed your Sage solution on their cloud, SEI can also be installed that way. When we talk about what's included in the implementation, what does an implementation look like? It's the installation, which is about a day, and then it's a matter of training. So every customer, every company is different. Some organizations prefer just to stick with the basic end user functionality. They have a specific idea in mind that they need to accomplish. So again, that end user training, 1 to 2 days will suffice and be enough to get started using the solution. And then you have on the other end of the spectrum, customers who have you know, a full team who are going to be dedicated to utilizing the solution to connect to other data sources, building those data models out behind the scenes. And that can kind of run a little bit more on the training side, so more in the 5-day framework. So I gave a very rough estimate here. Again, we're not talking a matter of months, we're really talking a matter of days to be implemented with the solution. And as you know, those reports that are pre-built, you can start using them from day one. It's not a good time for my battery to be running low. All right. The resources that we have, and again, Jeff will share these slides with everybody. There's our online help, which has a lot of good information, a website actually that we've built dedicated to the universal data models. So what Jazz was showing you on the finance, sales, and CRM side, there's a website that describes all of those data models, reports, KPIs, calculations. It really takes you through all of the detail of those UDMs. Our marketplace listing. What's also nice, and we delivered this last year, is the option to utilize the e-learning. So we do have an e-learning platform that is available to customers. It's a nice supplement to live training. So when you are getting started with the solution, I always suggest to take a minimum amount of training live with an instructor, but that can also be supplemented through the e-learning, which is self-paced training. It provides exercises. It's a really nice tool to lean on during onboarding and even to go back to later on in your journey with SEI. And then of course, there's our website, the Nectari website, that has some good information there as well. And I think on that note, Jeff, it's very hard to believe that we're going to finish early, but I think that we are. So I think we'll open up the floor to some questions before we run the very last polling question.
Yep, and I'm actually we did get some questions coming in. I'm actually gonna run the poll first, and then we'll get right into those questions since we've got some time. So this poll I'm gonna launch right here. This is just if anyone, after you've now heard from Olivia and Jasdeep, if you'd like to actually schedule a personalized demo. As Olivia mentioned, they just kind of scratch the surface of what the solution can do. And if you really wanna see, you know, talk about your specific situation and your needs for the solution, they can tailor a demo that will really, you know, work for your environment. So we just want to get those if anyone has a hand raiser, or if you're not sure and you just want to have a discovery call first to find out if this could be the right fit for you, you know, feel free to select that as well. And thanks for the answers, seeing them coming in. But we just want to get those hand raisers. I'll leave this open for a few more seconds here. Thanks for everyone, seeing a lot of answers come in. I'm trying to get a little more quorum here. And we won't share these results back, but rest assured we'll have the people that are selecting that they would like to learn more, have a demo or discovery call. Someone from the Sage Enterprise Intelligence team will definitely be reaching out to you over the coming days.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll give it about 10 more seconds, and then we're going to close this one, get into questions. All right, thanks everyone. Going to go ahead and close that. And Olivia, I can just moderate these questions for you. It's probably the easiest way if that works for you.
Sounds good.
Okay, blow this up so I can actually read the questions here. Let's see, the first one is around crystal reporting. The question is, does SEI replace crystal reporting, or does it work kind of side by side with it?
It can work side by side. I mean, there's always a place for crystal reports in terms of like the different forms and things that it offers. But if you're doing your financial reporting in crystal, you're probably, I wouldn't say probably, but you might be struggling a little bit. So that's where SEI can come into place. And again, we offer a little bit more flexibility, I would say, than crystal reports when it comes to, you know, your income statements, balance sheets, and things like that. So I guess the answer to your question is both. We can run side by side, and in some aspects we can replace.
Great. Next one here is, can you do conditional formatting, for example, red, green, yellow for data values?
Yeah, absolutely. We could even take it a step further. So with the distribution module that we have to schedule those reports, you can actually set up conditions in them. So if my numbers fall below you know, XYZ, whatever it is, send me an email notification to let me know. It's not necessarily a workflow like, you know, an alerting system would do, but it is a nice way to be advised of important changes when they happen so you can take action. So there's, you know, kind of two options available for that.
So the next one here is, does the system allow for documents to be stored within it?
We can connect to documents. We can connect to the data housed within the documents, but I think we would need to dive deeper into why you would need to store like the actual documents there. I mean, if you're talking about, you know, invoices or something like that, we have some link to functionality where we can set up the system where if you're drilling into the invoice number, we can use a connection to jump back into the actual invoice, but we can't actually store the documents themselves per se within SEI. Again, it's more kind of connecting to that data, bringing it into a data warehouse.
Yep, makes sense. Okay. Can SEI do a budget by vendor? And this is a Sage 100 customer.
Yes, so we didn't cover really the budgeting and forecasting capabilities, but that is definitely something that we can do. And when we send out, you know, our follow-up for the webinar, we'll send our document on the budgeting and forecasting capabilities that we do offer. There's the ability to enter data into SEI to create budgets and forecasts. You can do it by, you know, vendor, product, cost center, whatever it is that you want to, you know, budget on, you can definitely do that within the system. And then report off of the budgets versus actuals. So.
Okay, and I think, let's see, you may not, this one is around, is the Technosoft Service Manager integration fully functional? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew, if you were going to know about that.
Jazz, that was the one that we did, right?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that?
The Service Manager.
Yes, exactly. So Service Manager is something that we are currently working on. It's almost towards its term in terms of completion and being published for everyone, but that's almost ready as another module, yes.
Great. I'm not sure, this one is, they're asking is SEI additional feature for Sage 100. I'm not exactly sure that question, but yes, SEI is an add-on for Sage 100. So it would replace like your Sage Intelligence that you currently have, but it is an additional add-on product that would integrate with Sage 100. So I hope that answers the question. And I'll pass over that to the Enterprise Intelligence team if you have further discussions on that. And it looks like just...
I think you got that one, Jeff.
Yep, I think I got that one. Just making sure I didn't miss any. It looks like that's all the questions. Just want to let everyone know, thanks again for attending today. Within a week, hopefully by the end of this week, probably early next week, we will have out an email from myself that will have a link to the recording as well as a PDF of the slides that you saw here today. Olivia, Jasdeep, any closing comments?
No, I just want to thank everybody for attending. And of course, if you have any questions, I know Jeff put out the poll to see who was interested in a future call. So we're looking forward to that as well and wishing everybody a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you everyone for joining us today.
Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks to our presenters as well. And thanks again for everyone for attending. With that, we're happy to give everyone 6 minutes back to their day. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everyone. This concludes today's webcast. Thank you.